You hear both sides?
I check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so my headset's blown up. That's good. It looks good. Hey, hello.
You're such a weirdo.
That was bird noises. Not...
I know. I went to like Wildcat for a second.
There
we are.
I heard that. I didn't even need that.
It's the Wildcat.
All right.
Piper, can you hear us? Okay, cool.
Needs to be louder.
Yeah, speak. Yeah, you can talk loud into the mic, Piper, or get close. Super close.
You're such a weirdo. My headphones just went out.
Yeah. Gotta kill it. Go live here.
Okay. Something happened.
Oh, I got to share through.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember this time.
Shared.
We need like a song to sing.
Oh, Joe, grab your cup. Put the next level.
We should all just be like this. We're dead. We're here, but we're dead.
Where's your chair?
Wish I had a T-Lixer right now.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, me too.
Oh, yeah. Comes right through this.
Everybody ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Good evening to the universe and all the epic lovers out there. Welcome to the Epic Love Radio Show. We are broadcasting live. Here we are again, another episode. We're diving deep, and thank you all for listening. Thank you to our supporting sponsors, the Piper's Angels Foundation, T-Lixer Kombucha, Endless Summer Rum, Legacy Marine, and the Next Level Fitness Water. Thank you all. On my left, we got the one and only Cup of Joe.
Good evening, everybody.
Hey, welcome to the show. Give him a round of applause. All right. And on the right, the one and only Elizabeth Merson, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on?
Hey. And where's Blair? I don't know. There she is. Hey. Blair McKnight. And ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the Emerald Isle, coming in hot from Ireland, the one and only Ben Mudge. All right. A.K.A. Thor. Dun, dun, dun. And in studio with us as well. In the other room, though, we've got Piper's Playtime Party Hour. Hey, there she is. Welcome, Piper. And silence. Okay. The silent treatment. All right. And our co-producer here in flight on the Epic Love Radio Show, David. Welcome, David.
Hi.
There we go. All right. Yeah.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Oh, post Father's Day. Well, we have got lots to talk about. Thank you to all the viewers, all 21 viewers that we have tuning in live right now. Everybody wave to the viewers out there in the viewer world of Facebook. So here we are. And this is a very special episode because it is post-Crossing for a Cure, which we've got some Crossing for a Cure paraphernalia up here on the table. Many of you were tuning in, supporting, were at the beach landing and participating in some way or another, whether you were a paddler, a captain, a crew, volunteer, staff, donor, in no matter which way you were involved in the energy you brought, we are infinitely grateful for that. So here we are, post-Crossing for a Cure 2018. We're over $275,000 in fundraising. Wow. We had 100 paddlers make it safely from Bimini back to Lake Worth Beach. And there were some incredible moments and stories, and that's what we're here to talk about. And I invite anybody out there who wants to call in. If you want to call in and share a moment with us, give us a ring. And you can find the number on the Epic Love Radio page right there, and give us a shout. So any of the Facebook Live viewers, you can call in at 561-623-9429. Please give us a ring if you want to chat with Ben. So we're going to go ahead and get it kicked off here. How are we feeling today, Epic Love Radio crew? Somebody tell me something about something.
I have to say, my body is recovering decently. It's definitely maybe 50% better today than it was when I landed. So, and going in the right direction.
You were definitely very much in pain when I saw you on the landing.
I was hurting pretty bad. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, you could see it in your face for sure.
When I told you I had ibuprofen, your eyes were like, really? Please.
Yeah, I needed that for sure. I think I gave some of it to Travis, and he looked at me and he said, "Hallelujah," and like passed back out.
Yep. Yeah, I think pain is one interesting aspect of that whole experience that everybody shares in. There's no doubt about that. There's a great a rowing coach from the 1936 Olympic gold team, the U.S. team that beat won in Germany at the time, and it was George Pocock. And I love this quote. It represents the crossing so well. He said, "It's not a question of whether it will hurt or how much it will hurt. It's what you will do and how well you will do it, because pain is your companion and she is relentless." And that just, man, it sums it up. It's like hour after hour. Our team was counting down. So we were together. We were all paddling solo, but we were calling them reps. Yeah, it was actually Shane's idea. So it was like, oh, okay, hour 1. And it was like, wow, how are we going to actually like conceptually count this down? Because this could be pretty brutal if we're just counting by hours. And he was like, let's call them reps. And so it was like, okay, that was rep 1. So then we started counting down backwards from 16 because we figured, okay, it's definitely going to take us 16 hours. So it was like, all right, 15 reps to go.
I think we lost count along the way, though.
Yeah, totally.
I think the reps started multiplying.
Yeah.
18 reps. Wait, hold on.
They started multiplying. I think we did the 4th rep 5 times. I don't know.
Yeah. But it was a heck of a journey, that's for sure. And so Ben, coming in from Ireland, is a little exotic, right? I mean, coming into Florida and then going to the Bahamas. I mean, what were some of those unique experiences that you've had or that kind of stood out to you going to Bimini?
Sweat. I'm sweating now. I'm wearing an air-conditioned studio. I have never sweat more in my life. So I was drinking so much. So sweat and peeing go hand in hand. Because if I wasn't sweating, I was peeing. Because I was drinking so much water because I was sweating so much.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, I mean, obviously, it's the first time I've ever been to the Bahamas, so it was incredible. The views and yeah, it's hard to put into words how beautiful it is there.
He kept saying in his Instagram stories, how did I get here again?
Yeah.
How did
it was
this
like
happen?
a dream.
Poof.
Yeah.
The magic carpet ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, that water over there in Bimini, I mean, that blue-green,
Oh, it's gorgeous.
it's just, it's some of the most, it's some of the most beautiful water in the world. Just you can see the bottom at like 80 feet.
Yeah, I didn't want to get out of the water when we did that paddle out. I just didn't want to get out. I wanted to stay in the water the rest of the day.
That was definitely one of my favorite moments of the entire trip was the paddle out.
Me too.
Snorkeling was good.
Snorkeling was incredible. Yeah.
And you guys did the circle too, didn't you?
That's the paddle out.
Yes.
Oh, that's the paddle out.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And you guys joined hands. And you guys had an experience with the roses, I was being told. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so a symbol, an inspirational symbol within the CF community are roses because of the 65 Roses story with Mary Weiss and her son, who at the time was 4 years old, and she was working on cystic fibrosis fundraising work, and he said, he came into the kitchen and said, "Mommy, I know what you're talking about or what you're working for." And she said, "What is it?" And he said, 65 roses, because he couldn't say cystic fibrosis. And so that became a very powerful symbol in the CF community. So we brought 200 roses to Bimini, packed them in boxes, gorgeous roses that Julie Allen, one of our amazing committee members and paddlers, helped organize and put together, and put them in the cooler, iced them down. They went to the Bahamas. Maybe the first time that many roses went to Bimini. We paddled out with them. Everybody took a few out, and we circled up. And the paddle out is a sacred ceremony. I believe it started in Hawaii as part of the Tahitian tradition, and they paddled out. And Typically, it's in honor of somebody when they do pass away in the surfing community or paddle community or in the Aloha spirit. And in this case, it was really just to honor the purpose and the why we were there, and to honor the CF community and all those who have died, to help pave that road or that path, to help others with CF make it this far, and it's one of those things, they didn't have a choice about it in the way this disease is with being genetic, but they really, they sacrificed their life. And whether it was through a clinical trial or whether it was through just the painstaking aspect of living with the disease, they helped pave that path for people like Joe and Ben and Piper to be where they are today. And so that was what it was really about, honoring the CF community.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was really cool having the different paddle craft out there and just that crystal clear water. And I can't wait to see the photos and the video. And having Piper there, it was a spectacular, very emotional. I think this whole trip was very emotional at every turn. It seemed to just
Tell them about Trey's story with the roses.
Yeah, so always fascinating, the stories that trickle in, and I hear a lot of them, but sometimes I don't hear them until months later, and it's like, wow, we actually did a storytelling night this past year from last year.
I was gonna say I cannot wait for that this year.
Yeah,
already.
we're gonna have to do it at a bigger venue though. It's gonna have to be like at the Kravis or something. We're gonna have to pack the house, like storytelling at the crossing. But so I got a text from Trey Mahoney, one of our top fundraisers. He's chair of the committee in our fundraising department and two-time crossing crusader. And so interestingly enough, when the sun was coming up 25 miles offshore after they had paddled, from Bimini, they came across Three Roses.
Oh my gosh. How cool.
So awesome.
Did anybody get a picture of that?
Cool.
No, they were head down. They were paddling.
Okay.
He said they saw something floating and he thought it was debris or something. And what was interesting is all, because of the current going north, all the stems were pointing north. So they were all pointing the same way, getting pulled by the current, just like the paddlers were. So from the day before at 10 a.m. to that next day at, let's say, 6 a.m., they 25 miles northwest up the Gulf Stream, and those paddlers came across it. So hopefully we have some other paddlers that maybe saw roses.
So there's three of them, right?
Yeah, three.
Right.
Yep. Three of us.
Yeah, three paddlers in the crossing and Three Roses. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Those roses represented our crossing, our CF Warriors crossing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the first thing I
Agree.
thought. I was like, what are the chances it's three? That's insane.
Yeah, well, and I heard you guys talking. I mean, it's really amazing to me that CF has come so far as to the fact that we have these three CF Warriors who paddled in the event, and despite every obstacle in terms of the physical challenge with CF, you guys overcame. And I heard you guys talking when you walked in about the fact that you felt like your lungs were pretty clear, that you hadn't coughed or
No,
that
I didn't cough the entire way.
felt pretty open
No,
for
it was-
being.
Yeah, because obviously I live kind of near the sea, but I'm not getting in the sea in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it's much colder there.
I
I
just
hear.
refuse, especially once you've been to
Oh my
Florida.
God.
Once you've been to Florida, your standards are set pretty high in terms of the temperature. So, but I noticed a big difference. Really did. Like usually if I take a really big, deep, sharp breath in, it'll catch me and I'll cough. Whereas I was sitting, on the board and I went just to test it, nothing.
Wow.
I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's credence to it definitely.
Proof of concept right there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
Yeah, that's a drastic means of salt supply. The crossing.
Yeah.
16 hours of therapy.
It's worth it.
Oh man.
You get a sunburn, but you can breathe. So it's good.
I'll endure a sunburn if I can breathe better.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Speaking of sunburns,
Oh.
I think Liz might win the award for the most interesting sunburn of the trip. So we were fortunate that Danny Porcelli, one of our paddlers, is a representative of Rock Tape. And Rock Tape they sent over a bunch of tape, which was incredible of them. So thank you. And Danny taped up probably at least in an hour. He was taping people, 50
More,
people,
yeah.
maybe 80. I don't know how many paddlers he taped up, but he taped up a ton of people, including myself. Never been taped before, and it definitely helped. And he taped you up. Are you going to show the
All right,
audience?
all right.
All right. Everybody.
I haven't seen this, so.
Yeah, here we go. All right.
I also got taped up, and it also helped me a lot too.
Kids, don't look. No, it's
Okay.
Liz's
Oh, my
backside.
Can
you see it?
we
Yeah.
can play tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, you can
see
it.
We
It's-
can play tic-tac-toe.
Dude, you're like an intersection. I love it.
She got a hashtag on her back.
Yeah.
Hashtag sunburn.
Hashtag rock tape. Let's do this.
Hashtag aftermath of the crossing.
Yeah, I love it.
Your skin was a casualty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next year, like we were saying, we'll do little angel wings. Your Piper's Angels, do some wings so we can burn in our wings. It's really good skincare.
So Ben, I want to hear about your experience paddling across. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe the ups and downs you experienced while you were paddling?
Definite up was paddling at night. 100%. I love paddling at night. The calmness of the ocean, the quietness, you just almost get into like a metronome. You could just paddle and you just stare at the back of the boat. You didn't look around because there was nothing to see. So you just had this one singular focus. When the sun came up though, you could see that you were in the middle of nowhere. And that's when you're like, oh my word, what am I doing? And then the heat, obviously the heat had a big factor into it. And I also learned how to pee standing up without breaking stride.
Piper giggle.
The first time I kind of like paused and I was like, it's really obvious. And I was like, I can still paddle while I'm doing this. So I mean, guys know that. It's that's pretty impressive though.
I got over that fear very quickly.
Yeah, you do, don't you? You're just like, everyone knows I'm peeing, it's fine.
And
There's no water coming
everybody
from
else is doing it too, so
it's
Everybody's doing
I
it.
didn't even think about that. How do you go to the bathroom? But question answered.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, physically, you had to keep swapping over. It seemed to be all paddling on the left side for a long
For a
time.
while, yeah.
Which was cutting my hands up pretty badly. I got taught by Josh a couple of different strokes to kind of loosen up your back and keep your shoulders safe. And then, so he taught me 3 strokes, which I implemented pretty damn well. And then it's getting up on my, staying on my feet, then getting down to my knees, and getting on my hunkers, and then sitting up. So I was just breaking everything up as best as I could. So I treated it almost like you were saying, like sets. I was like, okay, so I'll do 30. I'm a personal trainer, so I count things without even meaning to. So I was like, right, I'll do 30 like that, and then I'll do 30 like this, and I'll do 30 like that. And I broke it up like that, and it just made it way easier for me. But then as soon as I saw the land, which this is really frustrating, because everyone's like, oh yeah, there's land, and I was like,
You're like,
I am not seeing this. And they're like, yeah, that white thing. And I was like, I just see ocean. I was like, which direction? They're like, right in front of you. I was like, I still see ocean. I see nothing. Like, this is they're taking the mick here. And they kept going, and eventually I just went, yeah, I can see it too.
Yeah.
I couldn't see it. I couldn't see anything. I was just like, oh yeah, that white thing in the 40 miles away. Yeah, I can see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely have to train your eyes for like seeing the buildings on the horizon. Paul Seaman, one of our captains from last year, painted a great original painting. It's actually on the Facebook page. There's prints for sale, and it's called Horizon of Hope. And it's the same, like even when you look at the painting, you see the boat and the paddlers and the beautiful sky and water, and then it's like, oh yeah, and those are buildings. And they're real, it's really faint, and I mean, I'm always looking for them because it's like, when you at least get close enough that you can see those buildings. I believe on a calm day like it was, you can see buildings anywhere from 18 to 22 miles offshore, but it's deceiving because
Super deceiving.
you see them, but then
5 more
they
hours
don't
later.
move and they don't get bigger. And we're going northwest. So what we're seeing is actually way south, like maybe Miami, Fort Lauderdale, but we're actually going to Lake Worth. And it's so much further. It makes it worse.
I'm just being like, we're going away from that. Should we not be going straight? It feels like we should be going straight now. We're just going to point the boat that way. And I'm like, I can see them now. I know where I am. But yeah, that was That was very difficult mentally.
I'm with you on that. I mean, they were pointing out buildings. I'm like, I don't see it. And then
anything.
like, oh, there's the pier. I'm like, nope, don't see the pier either. And I was like, I don't see it. And then when I did finally see it, I was like, oh, there it is. And then 4 hours later, I'm like, cool, they're still there.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
still far away.
It got to the point where the guys on our boat were like, "Oh yeah, between those two buildings, can you see that one, like that water tower and that one?" And I was like, "I think taking the mic. Like I can see nothing. I can just see this white stuff." And I'm like, "They're pointing at individual buildings," and I was like, "I've got good vision," but they were just seeing stuff I couldn't see. Unbelievable. I genuinely thought it was like a conspiracy on my boat. Just
It was like,
my head.
yeah, just like,
Mess with me. I was
just tell him there's buildings. He'll know.
He'll keep paddling.
He'll keep going if he
Yeah,
does.
right.
Yeah, I just put my head down. Like, I'm just not going to look at it.
I
So
just stared at the front of my board.
Yeah.
at what point could you guys see like the party people?
Yeah, what's it feel like with the buoys out there? The yellow.
Yeah, like at what point could you see the actual landing?
Like maybe like the last mile.
Wow.
Maybe. I mean, even like the last mile, we were like, okay, the last mile, we got this. And then the tide would happen to be going out at the time we were coming in. So the last mile, I think, was the hardest mile because it took forever.
Yeah, it did.
And I was like, okay, I see the buoys. I can kind of see the groups of people in the archway. And I was like, okay, 1 mile, that's easy. We do that all the time.
Yeah.
Nope, took forever.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was you guys immediately because I saw Travis's orange shorts, and I was like, "There's Travis," because those orange shorts. I was like, "And there's Liz," because she's got the orange top on, so that was like perfect.
Yeah.
And Piper was all over it too. I loved sitting with her because her focal point is Travis. Like she wants to know where Travis is. She wants to know when he's coming in, and I just loved it. I mean, it was getting me excited sitting there with her. She's like, "Okay, they're here, and here they are on the tracker, and here's Ben, and here's." I mean, she was showing me everything. She's just so into it. So I really enjoyed spending time with her on the beach.
She's here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Thank you,
brought Piper's live in the Piper's playroom.
She is, yeah.
Say hi, Piper. So Piper, you had some interesting experiences over in Bimini. Why don't you share with everybody what the snorkel trip was like?
So we went to like this big like sunken ship, and they had this ladder where you could climb up on it and you could jump off. And me and my friends, we all did that. And then Matt Lily jumped off like the very very top. And then we went to Stingray. I don't know what the island was
Honeymoon
called.
Island.
It had like 30 stingrays, and it was really funny watching my mom freak out.
What about
The stingrays.
Piper? What about you? Your words of encouragement for me? Do you remember you encouraged me to jump off the top of the ship?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
said it's not that scary.
it was. I ripped my shorts getting up. Yeah, seriously.
Where did you get that from?
Oh,
Oh,
Well, that's salt supply right
Yeah,
there.
that's a different kind of salt supply.
That's a good nasal rinse right there.
nasal
for you.
spray, right?
Yeah, there's some pretty amazing places to explore in Bimini. And we were based at Bimini Sands, which is it's a really cool venue, hotel. It's really more like they're set up like townhouses, but it's a great place to be based on the south side of Bimini. I would give a shout out to Brad at Bimini Sands for helping to organize this event and get us set up over there. We had just a spectacular list of we had conch salad at the island style cookout. We had a huge bonfire. I mean, that bonfire.
It started
Just when I
small,
thought
and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
the
it
next
was
one I
like-
looked at was huge.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, finally, it's nighttime. The heat's gonna go. And, oh, it's not a fire.
Now let's start a bonfire, right?
Seriously,
it's like burned.
sweating at night.
You can feel it from 50 yards away.
Yeah, I had to stand behind other people to like block the heat.
Piper, what'd you think about that bonfire?
We were in the water, and this ash, like it came like down, and it hit me on the arm, and it was really hot.
Oh, no.
Scolded by ash from the bonfire. Oh man, yeah, that was unexpected. I really thought when they said they were going to set up a bonfire, it was going to be like a little campfire.
Like a normal bonfire.
Yeah, I was
normal,
like-
right?
And then they started bringing out pallets and everything. You're like,
Pallets, I saw
okay.
pallets, and I was like, oh,
Good thing we got some firefighters here.
Homecoming
Like
bonfire.
make s'mores, and my mom was like, if you tried to make s'mores, like it would like burn them in like 2 seconds.
You would be a s'more.
You need a
Yeah.
really long
Long
stick.
stick.
Yeah.
You need a fishing rod?
Yeah.
that would've
fishing
worked.
rod. That would have been perfect.
So,
Yeah.
so Joe, let's hear about your experience crossing.
Well, it was definitely the most adventurous thing that I've ever done. It was one of the most important things I've ever done personally, because it taught me a lot about myself. Like, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to physically do all 90 miles of it, but when I got out there and Travis gave me some words of wisdom, be like, listen, you're out there for the adventure. You're out there to get across safely and to, experience everything that you can while you're out there. For me, the most impactful thing was actually kind of right off the beginning, was actually once we launched and started following my boat. And big shout out to my crew, Brian Redding and Joe Lawless and Angie, Alejandro's mom, and then the 3 guys that I paddled with, Tom Horton, Alejandro Ascano, and Ryan Gibbons. Those guys are awesome. Big shout out to Tom Horton. He did not get in the boat once.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I love Tom Horton. He's the man.
Wow.
And he's like the nicest guy ever, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, big shout out to him, because we were trying to get him in the boat, but he was not having any of it, and he did not get in the boat. So it was awesome. But for me, during the nighttime, I did not have that singular purpose of just staring at the back of the boat. I definitely looked up a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're out there and there's no light pollution and you're just there kind of like waiting around and like, all right, cool, let's do this, and taking a break and everything, staring up into the night sky is one of the greatest things that I've been able to see, honestly. Like, I've never been to like the top of a mountain or anything like that and been able to actually see like the band of the Milky Way. I was able to see that. That was amazing. And being like, okay, so I'm in this, pretty vast ocean right now, but what about that giant, vast ocean up there?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Been way more vast, even than the vast ocean we were in.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, a lot of the time we were very close to Ben's boat, and seeing him out there and seeing him do his thing with everybody on board. And you guys definitely had the party boat, by the way.
Oh, we did.
You had so much fun.
100%, yeah, we had
So
some
much
good
fun.
music.
It was awesome.
Music.
And it was, just, I'm still processing all of it, honestly. Like, there's so much to just talk about. Like, I have my friend George over in the UK that I talk with on a regular basis, and I'm going to call him this weekend, and I'm like, make sure you block off like 2 hours of time, because it's a long story. It's a very, very long story. So it was awesome.
That's what's really cool is everybody really has their own unique experience and journey through it, and their stories, and all the stories are so different and rare. I think that's definitely one of my favorite parts is looking up, and I was looking forward to it because I've seen it before and been out there, and just knowing that you get out there, you get away from Bimini because there's a little light pollution from Bimini. You can basically see the light pollution from Florida once you leave Bimini. It's a glowing orange, horizon. And even we had, so I kept telling people we're gonna have 27% moonlight. I checked the moon phase. I didn't check the moon rise. So the moon was 27%, but not when we needed it to be. It did not come up in the dark. It was not there.
Nope.
So it was pitch black. And yeah, you could see that Milky Way is clear as anything else. And I saw 4 or 5 shooting stars. I had at least 1 or 2 alien ships, go right by. I was like, oh man, we're in the Bermuda Triangle.
The aliens were like, "What are you crazy people doing
Oh,
out
yeah.
there?"
That's crazy. That's not
Yeah, right.
We actually had, like, on the first hour after we left the beach, we had a pod of dolphins hang with us for about an hour in the pitch black, and the boat.
Mesmerizing.
So the boat that our captains
And they're
were
listening.
leading us with. Oh, they're listening.
Yeah.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah, Kathy and Renata Ponte.
They were,
thank
by
you
the
guys.
way, they were the best crew ever.
You have to argue that with every other
gonna
group
say-
because every
I'm
group I've heard
sorry.
is like, man, we get the best crew.
No.
Yeah, we
Well,
got a party
best
crew over here.
captain.
My guys are pretty good.
All right, fair. But so their boat had the underwater lights, so we could see the dolphins swimming under our boards, like right
Wow.
underneath us. And so they stayed with us for about an hour, and they were literally like from me to you, Blair, like right by our boards. I mean, thank goodness they didn't like knock us off our
It was
boards
a
or
little
something, but-
nerve wracking at
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
because all of a sudden you could hear like we're paddling along, you're
You hear
getting in your
them with their
zone.
blowholes.
Yeah, I mean, when they joined us with where we could still see. Oh, Danny said I could hear them splashing too. I mean, we could still see the bottom with the lights from under the boat. So I mean, we were only maybe 40, 50 feet of water, which is not that far off Bimini. So they swooped out of the boat, and we heard them like, and it was like, what's that? You know, and then you could see their bodies
Shooting
in the
fast.
light under the boat. So it was like, and once we realized they were dolphins, it was like, oh, okay, okay, we get it. But then it was like, well, cool, they're playing with us or riding with us. But then it was actually Trey, I think, who realized it first, Trey Siebold. He was like, oh, man, he just chased a squid. And so these squid at night were darting out of the light, and the dolphin was so
Catching up.
smart, right? We're like, zip, 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 all over the place.
Yeah, they were
eating
using the light to their advantage.
them. Yeah,
To
to
hunt.
catch squid.
Yeah.
What was cool from the beach is watching the boats because you could see them for 6 miles
Yeah.
going out, and I mean,
So cool.
I stood there and just watched. I was like, man, they're all out there right now.
Yeah.
We were all out there.
Yeah, that moment, I
You can see the
think,
back of the boats.
yeah, that when we were standing on the beach in Bimini in the dark, and actually the bugs weren't that bad at that point.
No.
It's like they'd gone to bed or something. I don't know.
Well, we did douse ourselves in bug spray.
Yeah,
bug
that's
spray
true, but-
before we went outside.
So there's a great photo on Lori Griffith, who's the Queen of the Crossing, our official photographer for the event. She's got on her background photo on her page right now that photo of everybody on the beach in the dark, and I mean it's just awesome. But being on that beach and everybody loaded up, you could feel like the tension was palpable, the energy,
The music
everything.
in the background.
And then, what'd you say, Viper?
yeah.
And then when the music got cranked up and it was like, okay, you're standing there and it's like 12:20. That competitive group is going to go. So it's like at this point, there's no turning back. There's no, and cranking that music up, Sean getting ready, and those boats,
Circling.
they called it something, some sort of circle. It's called in nautical terms. It's when they circle to prevent from like, bumping into each other and being in a cluster. So they were circling. But then when
Lined up.
Sean called it and radioed to the captains and said, okay, it's go time. And that final circle, they wrapped around and one by one swung around and swung like perpendicular to the beach and stopped and like lined up.
In front of their team. So like they like lined up perfectly. It was
In
like gave
formation.
me chills.
Yeah, at that moment, I think everybody on that beach went, whoa. Wow. Yeah, wow. And it was, and then that, I mean, I had goosebumps.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Every square inch.
What did you say to me before you launched? We're standing there, and he says, in his accent, he says, "What am I doing here?"
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, because I think I literally woke up
Yeah.
at 12 o'clock because I fell asleep and I was listening to a podcast and my headphones were plugged in, so the alarm didn't go off. Well, it did, but I had to have my headphones on to hear it. So I just happened to wake up and I was like, oh no. So I had to like pack everything, and then I got down to the beach and I was still kind of half asleep. And I almost was convinced I was dreaming, because that's not something that happens every day.
Yeah.
It's not like every day that you walk down to a beach at night and there's like 100 people just standing around the boards, and I was just like,
100 glowing people.
Yeah.
what am I doing here? This is so surreal.
There were a lot of people who were going, where's Ben? They were like, where's Ben? And we were like, wait a second, where is Ben? It started to get really nervous.
And it was like a big lineup photo, and I was just strolled in and was like, yep, there we go, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here the entire time.
Yeah.
I saw him at the airport a little earlier. When they said, "Where's Ben?" I said, I saw him at the airport. I don't know what he was doing.
yeah. We're like, did Ben go back to Ireland?
Yeah, right.
He was headed out. Yeah, no, we got to give a shout out to the Admiral of the Fleet, Mr. Sean Dunleavy, for helping to orchestrate, that whole lineup and the logistics of the boats and everything. I mean, Sean really, I can't say enough. I mean, he essentially like co-produced this event. He definitely worked just as hard, if not harder, than I did even on it. And I mean, the guy worked tirelessly for months in prep and conversations with captains and crews, and just unbelievable what he put into this to make it happen and make it happen safely.
Yeah, I love you, Sean.
We love you, Sean. Epic love to you, Sean. And thank you to everybody. Everybody wave to the camera. Hey, what's up? We got 29 people tuned in live watching. Tom Horton, Heidi, Danny, Kelly Hilton Green. Got some shout outs to Ben on here from Stephen Fitch. Says, Ben Mudge, you are the man, sir. So inspirational.
Danny said Ben was a distraction.
Yeah. Well, he's talking about sweating a lot. So, I mean, like, there's just use your imagination a little bit. I don't know.
No, that wanted me to read too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone kept shouting, "You need to read a book to me."
We gotta.
Yeah, she said, "Like you need to read me." Was it Good Night Moon or something like that?
That's a good one.
That is
Yeah.
a good one.
That sounds like Danny.
Children's book, yeah.
We got a lot of comments that say, "Ben, we need Ben back."
Next year.
Yeah, that's.
Well, obviously. Sorry,
yeah.
Ben. You don't have a choice in the
Yeah.
matter.
Okay.
Fine, I have to.
Kelly said, "Sean is a legend." I like it. That's
Sean
awesome.
is a legend.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everybody on that journey was a legend in their own way, in some way or another. I mean, you just can't say enough about the captains and what they put into it, idling across the Gulf Stream. Shout out to Brian, who's tuning in. BP, big BP, epic love.
BP love.
Man, he fought through that thing, and he was facing. He had a back injury earlier in the year, and our committee knew about it. He's very humble about himself and the pain he was going through to even attempt. I mean, I don't think it was doctor approved. Let's just say that.
No, I think it was definitely doctor disapproved.
Yeah.
It was not supposed to cross.
And that man still saddled up and paddled across that ocean and went through some excruciating pain to be out there with his team and everybody. Amazing for sure.
Yeah.
That was a great video, by the way, of
I didn't think I was going to get out, to be honest.
that was out. That was out right away of Ben and the
Travis.
Welcome to Bimini dance. Who was that with?
It's Travis.
Different Travis.
Oh, okay, yeah,
different
that
Travis,
was
yeah.
that was great.
This one?
Jump on it.
Yeah,
Jump on
yeah,
it.
I saw that.
Because we did it once, and they were like, "Oh no, we need to do that again." I was like, "You can't recapture that," because I knew I was going to go somewhere, and I was like, oh, "Okay."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Heidi commented, hello, friends. Ben was an incredible boatmate, such a genuine, kind, and inspirational man, and he has awesome dance skills.
Oh,
Thank you.
it's a plus.
Yeah, that was good stuff. I mean, the energy from Bimini, you could feel it in the Instagrams and the Facebook
We could
lives,
feel
honestly.
the energy, I swear, when we were paddling from the beach.
Really?
Yeah.
The beach landing. I was like, I can
It
feel
was
it.
channeling
I can
him.
feel
It really was. It was overwhelming being there. I can't imagine being that physically drained and paddling into energy like that. I mean, it just has to be overwhelming.
It was the only way that I was able to like stay awake. To
Really?
be honest, like if there weren't that many people there, I probably would have landed on the beach and not gotten up. Just like
Flop.
passed out.
done. I was already telling Travis, like when we land, he might have to drag me through the archway.
You did great. You guys coming in was awesome. I mean, you guys coming in, swooping up Piper, and I mean, it was just awesome. Tell me a little bit about, you guys did this together for the first year as an engaged couple. Just how much does that increase your bond?
Oh,
Aw.
Great
you go
question.
first.
Oh God. No, I think you should go first.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time since we got engaged, I knew this was coming, that we were going to have to face this together. And having done the crossing twice before, both times being excruciatingly brutal in different ways, and knowing what potentially could happen, I have to say, and for anybody listening or watching, not to mitigate or minimize, or make it sound scarier than it should be. This was an incredible year. I mean, we had the best weather you could absolutely have. We talked about it the whole way. I mean, from the time we left the beach, We had basically zero wind. It was flat calm. It was glass. For the amount of paddlers we had paddling this year that were new paddlers, new to paddling, it couldn't have been set up any better. So you have to understand from my perspective, like, of the intimidation of what the ocean can do and how it can get and how bad it can get, how quickly it can get bad. And many boaters know that Gulf Stream, it can be treacherous. And so knowing that, like, this person in my life that I love so much, and that we've committed to each other, and knowing that she didn't really have much of an option in her, she did sign up, she had a choice, but I mean, the fact that she was devoted to paddling for Piper and paddling for me, I don't think she would have been paddling across the ocean if it wasn't for that. So I mean,
for anybody,
so just to know, maybe I was kind of scared about, like, seeing her in a really vulnerable position of, being seasick or being, in a place where I've seen other people and I've seen myself in that ocean, and knowing what that can feel like. And but as we got closer and we saw things shape up, I was really happy to see that we were going to get good conditions and that this was going to be a really positive experience for both of us. And I've seen Liz battle through some pretty bad conditions in paddling before, and some of which I may intentionally have set her up for, including our first date, including the one where she won the Golden Coconut Award because she was the only paddler to actually paddle in the female division because it was so nasty and rough. And I told her at that time, I said, some of those experiences were worse than the crossing itself.
Wait, by the way, that wasn't a choice. He signed me up for that.
I did sign her up for those. But she's just an incredible person all the way around. And not just spiritually or, the physicality of what that event is in that paddle. And for her not being an experienced paddler to do it and brute through it was really impressive. And I mean, there were some very emotional moments along the way when I realized I was, along with several other women on this trip, these are some of the first women to ever paddle solo from the Bahamas to Florida nonstop, not getting in a boat, beach to beach, basically iron is what it's called. And it was very emotional the whole way looking over it. And I was just beyond proud to watch her and know that she was doing it, and there was absolutely no stopping her. And it was just one small piece of the grander journey we're on together. So I love you very much, and I'm so proud of you for everything you've done. And people don't know this, but she was our top fundraiser in terms of sponsorship. She brought in over $50,000 in sponsorship for the event. She just has been, when people say it sounds so cliche, a rock. She's like just been there every step of the way. When I needed help, when I was stressed out, when I needed somebody to make a phone call, she helped coordinate getting Ben in because I was just running around like crazy, just everything. And I mean, you guys have seen it firsthand. You guys all know how amazing she is. And I was very, very fortunate. And the love she shows for Piper in what she does and how she does it is unconditional and pretty magical. So I know, I'm really proud to have her as a female role model for Piper to look up to.
Absolutely.
I don't know how I can follow
I
that.
was gonna say.
All right, you're up, Liz.
Me too.
Good luck.
Yeah,
I told you to go first.
Yeah, I should listen.
Yeah.
No, I just think, going through it together, I think he was more nervous about it than I was, just because of the previous experiences he had had. He had said, maybe we shouldn't be on the same boat. Maybe we shouldn't paddle together just in case you might kill me, or I don't know. I think he was pretty nervous. And then, then he had me almost questioning, like, maybe he's right. Maybe we should be on separate boats. I don't know about this. But then, like you said, as the conditions really, Mother Nature shined upon us, and it was a great experience. I mean, there was one time he was drafting me, knocked me off my board, and I had to not climb on his board and kill him. But that was it. I didn't say anything. I just kept paddling. It was no big deal. But yeah, it was overall a great experience, and I'm so grateful and thankful to be a part of it and be able to give back to the foundation and to Piper and other people that are suffering with CF, and I don't know, it's definitely been a life-changing experience, and I'm literally marrying the event. I think it comes along with Travis, and I knew what I was getting myself into before I said yes, so I guess I take responsibility in that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to being involved every year, and
Awesome.
I love you too.
Aw.
Well, you're marrying the mission, so any way you participate in that is what it is. But it's amazing what you put forth in terms of effort and energy. So
Well, thanks.
yeah, thank you.
You're making me blush.
Uh-huh.
Aw.
So we actually, it's crazy, but we're down to the last few minutes of the show.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom. That flew by fast, right? I gotta give a couple shout outs here to Gary Stelgis, my brother-in-law, who he's kind of pre-committed too because he married my sister. He told somebody that. Somebody said, "How are you involved?" Like I was standing next to him in Bimini, and they're like, "God, this guy's working so hard to prepare the food and everything." They're like, "How are you involved?" And he said, "Well, it's not by choice. I married his sister." In a nicer
Sounds
way.
about right.
Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, sorry, dude." But man, he worked tirelessly to prepare all the food, get it ordered ahead of time, and make it happen. Landon Akiyama, our production coordinator, ran all over the place. He was like my right-hand man in Bimini, just making things happen. You can't say enough about the staff and the people who put this thing together. And then, of course, we talked a lot about Bimini and the experiences there, and we could talk for hours and even about the crossing and but that landing and the energy that was there, just coming in, like you said, seeing people coming in from offshore. Once we could finally see the pier and paddling in and knowing and seeing, we could actually see the archway. I think it's the main thing you could see from pretty far off is that little pink and teal.
Mm-hmm.
And coming in was just one of the most fiery, emotional experiences. And for everybody, we had a friend, Mel, who was in from out of town, and she just said, from an outsider's perspective, how was there that much love? That many caring people on the beach, and every single group that landed, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was special.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely special.
And Jennifer Napolitano and my sister Nikki were the two that tag teamed putting that together. And huge shout out to Jen and Nikki for working hard, once again, tirelessly. I could probably say that word about everybody. Tirelessly for the paddlers too, because nobody got sleep, and the captains and the crew, nobody got sleep. The whole thing was tirelessly done. And Jen and Nikki it was spectacular. And the photos are pouring out from multiple photographers, and you can just see it in every single one. We even had a proposal on the podium.
I was about to say that. Somebody proposed on the podium after they crossed, got the medals on their neck. They got up on the podium to take their pictures, and the guy got down on one knee and proposed to her. She said yes. It was epic.
Where do you have that ring?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Where did he?
I wonder if he crossed with it. I don't know.
Thinking, you wouldn't want to leave that with someone else.
Yeah, right.
Well, that was pretty epic. And then
too many questions.
on top of it all, it was like Mel mentioned, all the love on the beach and everything. But there are, I don't know, like 6 or 7 competitive paddlers that won cash prizes that are donating it back.
Yeah.
That we know of. There may be more. I'm not sure, but that's pretty amazing as well. They just paddled, paid their trip to get over there, all this stuff, and then they get awarded, and they're like, no, we'll just donate it back, and that's epic love right there too.
Yes.
How about the boat? Did that guy, was he contacted?
Oh yeah, Kent Flanagan, he's a good friend from college, won the boat that we raffled off.
Oh,
pretty
cool.
exciting. Yeah, he was like, he couldn't believe it.
I texted John from Flying Fish today about something, and he goes, "Oh man, I was hoping you were texting me, letting me know I won the boat."
Yeah.
I was like,
He said-
"Oh, man,
He
sorry
said he
about
woke
that."
up I asked him, well, when did you buy the ticket? And he said, I was talking to my wife about it. It was like 3:00 in the morning. I woke up, and he's like, I just got to go for it. But yeah, congratulations to Ken Flanagan. Congratulations to everybody who participated. Thank you to Mayor Pam Triolo for coming out and speaking at the awards. Thank you to Dr. Matt Disney from Scripps Research Institute. I could have spent the entire hour basically thanking people, guys like Josh Ferris, who is our all-star of the crossing, top fundraiser, men's sub 14-foot first place competitive paddler, to the Spina brothers, Joe Morrell, Josh Lampier, to every single person out here, all the ladies who crush it. Cindy Gibson was one of the oldest female paddlers and did it iron, never got in a boat. Pretty amazing. And we're on our final 2 minutes. So I'd like to just open it up for Ben and Joe. You guys, any final words as a part of the crossing, what you want to say out there to everybody?
The impact that we're going to be able to create in the CF community based upon everybody's amazing efforts is going to be remarkable.
It already is.
It's unstoppable. It really is. I love it.
Exactly. You know, from a single drop, you create a ripple.
Yep. Well, what's the back of the medal say?
Exactly.
It says, individually we are a drop, but together we are an ocean. These are some nice medals, by the way.
Yeah, who made those? Or who designed those?
Interesting.
Liz designed the medals.
Yep, super awesome.
What about you, Ben?
Exactly what Joe said. It's yeah. I mean, the fact that we were able to do this was incredible. The fact that you allowed me to come over to do this was, I can't thank you enough. Everyone kept thanking me for coming over, and I was like, no. Thank you for letting me come and be a part of this, because it was the first thing I've ever done that I can say I'm honestly proud of myself for doing. It's a hard thing to admit if you're Northern Irish. It's not a big thing, like it's not a done thing, but it was the first thing I've ever done that I'm proud of myself for doing. Which is it's a nice feeling.
Yeah. Piper, how you have any final words for everybody out there?
Just thank you for raising money and stuff.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well, thank you for being our inspiration, Piper.
Yes,
Yeah,
without you, none of this would happen. I mean,
Yep.
you are the drop that started the ripple.
Yep.
That's it. Well, thanks to everybody for tuning in to the Epic Love Radio Show. This was a special one. I feel like for the next 10 episodes, we could talk about the crossing. But we got some awesome future guests coming on the air. And just want to say thank you to all the sponsors, all the listeners, everybody who tuned into this show. Please share this show on Facebook. Share it to your page. And follow us on our
Social media.
yeah, thanks for jumping in there and saving me.
Instagrams and stuff
Man,
like that.
I was going to say iHeartRadio. Thank you. But thank you all. And tune in next time for Epic Love Radio.
All right.
Flew by.
Yeah.
Don't lean back.
Oh, I forgot to hold up the check. Oh, I
You
can't
should have
now.
just held that the whole time. Like,
Take your time.
hey. Lots of comments tonight.
Kissy Jones.
Wave goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
You holding the check is on there.
That was,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was a great show.
That was
It really was.
Great.
It felt so good.
Yeah, everybody is so